Testing, testing. Hey, Keegan. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Nice. It's all different, but right now, good.
How was the workshop? How was the workshop?
I had two Americans come. We didn't run a workshop. I wasn't ready with the blueprint in time, and I didn't have enough people for the workshop. But I am actively working on the blueprint, which I wanted to share with you.
Cool.
Yeah, finally, because
Did you guys
it's
have a good experience together in the boat of dawn?
yeah, it was really, really cool. There's over 1,000 master craftsmen. Um, Actually, I'm in the process of purchasing land right next to the most prettiest village in Abode of Dawn, where I don't know if you've seen in my stories, is those rapids. Like water rapids, very clear river, like drinking water, and there's those rapids. And then
Cool.
the rapids are only in one village, like just above Gulyayevka. So I'm taking a piece of land, 3 hectares, to just land. Let me record. Yeah, so I'm taking 3 hectares on abode of lawn, abode of dawn, to land the Academy of Bioarchitecture. Uh, the Zhivograd, that the living city that everybody is dreaming about, is not so on pause, but let's put it this way. Um, Prior to about 2 weeks ago, I've been communicating with the spirit, which has a specific set of instructions. The spirit that's in you, in me, you know what I mean, the same spirit, and ladybug in the tree. And then I started communicating to the Great Mother about 2 weeks ago. And the Great Mother, call it, there's different names, Mother Earth, the feminine aspect of Creator. Mother Earth, Mother Mary, the Great Mother, the Grandmother, I don't know, everybody, there's no many names, but there's the feminine aspect. And she told me, like, heard a clear voice that I have a children's project. Okay, so we've been brainstorming this children's project, and it's split into three. The main two, which we brainstormed today with our team, is the one is on about a boat of dawn, calling it lawn. Why do I want to go there? There's over 1,000 master craftsmen, from welders to timber, really amazing timber masters. Uh, um, Gosh, sewing of clothes, ballet, symphonic orchestra. There's a whole world there, you know, because if you go out, let's say, like, let's, get a few friends together and let's just, build ourselves a few homes and, rock and roll out there. The problem with that is it's too isolated. So land close to the city is usually very expensive. You know what I mean? And land that's very pretty, that's close to the city, is like insanely expensive. If we go out into the sticks, like out into the bush, like somewhere far, 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 far away, where land is affordable and we don't need to take a loan for it, which we don't want to, then you're isolated. Then it's you and a couple of buddies, and I've tried that. When I was like, those couple of buddies says, let's go. 2009, I'm like, okay, let's go. And everybody is like, actually, I'm busy right now. I'm still not ready, and this and that. So I went, and I did that whole experience in South Africa where and I'll show a couple of pictures, and I'm sure, you know, it might be a little bit of repetition from the previous, but just so we have a story to go. So I left, you know, I went to the land and I started experimenting or with permaculture, ecosystems. Yeah, and you've seen it. So I won't go too much into detail of this whole thing. Okay, so I built this little dome. That was my first experience. Was an Earthship wetland. I was still in a prepper mode. It was 2011. I was getting ready to, you know, get sunken under Earth. So a big geodesic sphere, 2.618 sacred geometry size. You know, like, yeah. And then, you know, so a big permaculture garden that in a mandala shape. Their mandala shape, yeah, with a dome in the center, and loads of mistakes, you know, to the point where like mandala garden was concentric circle on a slope. Obviously, the bottom garden beds caught the water, and the top ones concentric circle, yeah, diverted the water around. So anyway, and so if we go back to the community whole thing, so that's not a model. So we want to be either an hour away from like a huge city, so we can, you know, like if somebody has a feeling to go to a theater, which is normal, or have some cultural experience, you know, it's a jump on a train ride, like, I don't know, 2 hours and you're there, you know. Accessibility. Otherwise, we need to go and link up to some or other community that's already nearby, that's far out in the sticks, where the land is affordable. And the land is affordable. I'm taking 3 hectares now for $3,500. Amazing, amazing view, mountains, like just slopes, and right next to the village. Right next to the village. I'll see if I have something here. Yeah, here. Have a look at this. Just so we link up. So it's also not like out in the sticks. So that's there is the most amazing village, and those are all the little lots that are allocated, yeah, subdivided. And this is this little doggy, this little puppy is 3 hectares, you know, and it's all indigenous forest all around, and it's right next to the village. But I have my own thing, and it's 3 hectares. There 27,000 you know, square meters. So it's like, and I'm taking it for $3,500, and I can start my project. And the beauty about landing next to them is they left in the 90s when USSR was collapsing, and they just did their own thing. Yes, it was like considered a sect. There was a guy who claimed that he wants you know, to be, he says he's Christ, and they just followed him. He's in jail now. They just gave him another 12 years. He said 5. They just gave him another 12. But the community is still thriving. The problem that I found is that the mentality of a victim, and I will keep on talking about it every time, because it's you know, like when you ask everybody, like, are you a creator? And everybody's, of course I'm a creator of my life. But by the fact that when you hear people say that when Trump gets to power, or when you know, then the life will get better, or when this, then that, that means that people are still wow, I have a whole bunch of Russian people joining.
Сила и надежда, и вы меня не знаете. Украина, ты мы за Украину.
Wow, look at that. Hackers.
Wow, you kicked him out.
Yeah. Wow. Never had that before. Interesting. Interesting. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, so this mentality of victimhood is so penetrated, Keegan. I've been extracting it out of myself the last year and a half. So the main key things that so why am I saying about this community is because the more they're blaming the government for taking their leader away, the more they're getting the system, the matrix tightening on their bolts, and just they just gave him another 12 years. So, and then saying no, and for them, because they believe it's he's like Jesus Christ for them. So, so for them it's like crucifixion. You know what I mean? They just gave another 12 years. They're like, okay, now the world is really going to end because they crucified Christ. You know what I mean? Second time. So, and I'm coming in from the mentality is all your wishes have already been executed right now. So if you look around in your life right now with the brick wall behind you and where you are right now, you'll understand that all your wishes are realized. They have been realized already. So if there's something in your life, and I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking about everybody, that you don't like, that means that you need to look and ask yourself a question: why did I create that in my life? So you are a full creator. So because you're a child of God, okay, and I don't want to use like other words, like just like, general term, the great spirit or whatever, the creator, you are made in the image of God. Do we have an agreement here? So cats have kittens, dogs have puppies, God has, there's some people, so again, now there is, but some people say like, I don't believe in God, I don't see him, why should I, That is also a fork of reality, and there's four of them, four forks of reality. One is there is no God. And atheists, they don't feel him, they don't experience him, but they're still creators of their life. It's just this world is like pretty fucking insane if you're doing it all alone. Like if you've got no backup that you can like ask for help, and that reality exists. And for those people who are atheists, the reality of no God fully renders, and all of the experiences confirm as facts that there is no God. Does that make sense? And I cannot change their perception because I can only live my life, and if they see that I'm like really in a good space, they can ask me, Alosha, how are you doing it? What are you on? What are you smoking? And I'm like, actually, I'm not smoking anything. I'm praying 5-7 times a day, and I'm closing up the leakages, all the leakages where I lose energy. And I change my beliefs from childhood that we carry, like that, I'll give you an example. Like when I was young, my mom was like quite busy, and my dad was busy. So every time I got ill with flu, I noticed that my mom was, around. She would come and give me honey, jam, she'd make me tea, she'd read me lots of stories when I was like, had flu, you know what I mean? So a belief was formed that in order to get attention, I need to get, you know what I mean, not well. So at 38, I break a leg, or 37, so my mom could sit next to me in the hospital. And she did. She sat with me for 2 weeks. And if you don't work with those beliefs, people take them to the grave. and then, you know, I can't speak of afterlife or next life, but they definitely take them to the grave. So trying to heal those beliefs with psychology is a very, very lengthy path, and I came to a dead end. So now I just ask, Great Spirit, I realize that I have this program. It's broken. It doesn't serve me. I thank this program for our experience. But please, Great Spirit, I ask you to heal it on all levels of my consciousness, in my bodies, in my chakras, in my auras, in my previous incarnations, in all my bodies, out of my microflora, in my tummy, out of my neurological pathways, everywhere. I just want to heal it right now. I mean, and I believe in my word. I believe in God. So I created God. Not created. God is there for those that believe it, and God is the Great Spirit is not there for those that don't. So I choose to believe in the Great Spirit because I feel good from that belief. Does it make sense? It works for me. Okay? So there's four beliefs. One, God is not there. Second, God is a guy on a cloud, and he's punishable, and best to be good so you can get to heaven afterwards. Yeah? Third, the magic occult belief. It's where the shamans are fighting for energy. They're quite close. They're already in cause and effect mentality, but they still believe that the energy is limited and that you need to fight. You need to close yourself from vampire people and all of that stuff. Yeah. And then there's the fourth one, which I adopted. That the creator, the Great Spirit is right here, is in my body, in me. In fact, I am the physical incarnation of the Great Spirit. The same Great Spirit is in you, is in the trees, in the ladybug. It's in all living things. And the Great Spirit split itself between you, me, and 8 billion people, and we're actually all one. But I take full responsibility for everything that happens in my life, including the war in Ukraine. When I wanted that there will be more women, and I was shocked by that belief, I thought that twice. I wished for that there would be more women. Being single, I wish that there'd be more women. And therefore, if there's more women, Keegan, what does it imply? That there is less men. And then when I asked myself, how did I create the war in Ukraine? That's the answer I got. And I was somewhat fucking shocked. Because that's not what I thought I wished for. But I did wish for more women. And more women implies less men. And that's how 8 billion people created a war in Ukraine. Somebody wanted this, somebody in the kitchen. It all starts in the kitchen, bickering. Oh, they are there. No, this are bad. No, when Trump gets to power, or when this, or Democrats, or and it just on and on and on and on. The next thing, boom, shit hits the fan. It's like, where did that come from? But you guys been asking for it. No, but that's not what we've been asking. We've been just complaining in the kitchen about life and this and that. Yeah, but your complaints manifested in such a reality. So that's why I say that if you don't like something in your life, you ask a question: why? For what reason did I create it? So it's a very nice. So from one point, it's a full responsibility. So it's like you're very conscious of your words. You don't throw words left, right, and center anymore. Because today you think, I wish that I would just I'm not going to say it with my words, but you know what I'm saying. And then 2 days later, a guy comes to you, to that guy in Chicago with a gun and say, hey, motherfucker, give me your money. You know what I mean? And then you remember that 2 days ago, you actually thought that you wanted your life. No, not you, but that guy wanted his life to end. You know what I mean? That's how it works. So there's people that we all create. We're all creators. Just some do it consciously by realizing that they're creators, and others do it unconsciously. And their life is just a series of shit hits the fan moments, and then they get sick, then they break a leg, and then they're like, Like I had a guy broke his leg the other day, and he's 73. He's got 15 children. He claims himself as the magician of the Crimea. So he claims himself quite high. Well, he's 73, 15 children. He traveled the world, you know. So he's quite, I thought super consciousness. But he broke his leg, and he says, "Well, it was God's will." I said, no. Don't blame God on this. Why did you want to break your leg? No, God wanted to break my leg so I could slow down. I'm like, no. Why did you want to break your leg? The next thing he says, don't you believe in unforeseen circumstances? I said, no, I don't believe in unforeseen circumstances. Why did you break the leg? Why did you want to break the leg? And eventually, if I ask him, obviously, he was just fuming at his mouth. At 73, he's never heard that. He's like, well, what do you mean? Like, he was fuming. He's like 15 audio messages, one after the other, just recording me audio messages, fuming. I said, at the phrase of unforeseen circumstances, I no longer want to listen. Here is my channel, how I came to God 1.5 years ago. And so God and God is different things, you know what I mean? People can come to God but still victim mode. You know what I'm saying? That what I'm trying to say is I stopped believing in an objective reality. I'll repeat it twice more because it's so important. I stopped believing in objective reality. I no longer believe that the reality is separate from me. I'm creating you out of everybody. You're the only one arrived, and there's more people coming. But I'm scared of hackers. Not scared of hackers. I just don't want. Yeah. Anyway, and they're all Russian anyway. So we want to speaking English anyway. So. So I stopped believing in objective reality, meaning that it's a game change. It's like you were walking that way. I was walking that way, like everybody else. Reptiloids, new world order, evil out there, like just the same shit. Like AI is gonna rape us or whatever. Same shit like everybody else is going on. I turned around because I just got to such a dead end, and I tried to even nearly hang myself. I turned around afterwards, and I went on my knees, all crying. Rope is still lying next to me, and I'm like, God help me. I was an atheist all my life. It was 1.5 years ago. I hit such a fucking dead end. I'm like, God help me. I'm either gonna take my life away, but I can't. So I want to hear. Just help me. Just sincere, tears running, snot, just like it was after my second divorce. I didn't know like how, why. Starts with shaking legs, then the body starts shaking, and then panic attacks, and then these panic attacks. I started kickstarted a divorce with Zoya. And then I'm left alone, and I'm like, fuck. Then I hit a loneliness, because realize that since the age of 22, I've never been without a woman. First wife, girlfriend, second wife, 23 years. And I'm like, I was so overwhelmed by this feeling of loneliness, coupled with that panic attack that was still going on. Now overlaid with a totally alone, and now I'm an atheist. I've got nobody else. I've got no friends in Russia because I've been always with Zoya, and because I had low self-worth, I wanted to be a good little boy, so I didn't meet anybody, so I could always be next to Zoya. An unbalanced relationship, and I understand why it ended. It ended so I could come to God, and then I felt that little bit of warmness in my chest and a little relief. I could take in a deep inhale. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling something. And then, I met Radomir, which is this guy who spoke about quantum physics, that the wishes is as antimatter. The wish is an antimatter, which realizes matter. It's an antimatter, something they haven't been able to find because it's got negative mass. You know, it's like how do you even, where do you search for it? So the wish is the antimatter. So there's a few key features of these beliefs, but one is that there is no objective reality, that the whole reality is an extension of my body. Yeah, I don't want to go too deep into it. We'll do more talks, but the lesson from the end of the book is that 1.5 years of no depression, 1.5 years of no panic attacks. I've drank one beer in 1.5 years. I've smoked one joint in 1.5 years. So yeah, you couldn't even count it. You know what I mean? It's like negligible. And most times I'm feeling pretty awesome. And if you look at my Telegram stories, I'm like dancing, like just out in the street alone, dancing, just in earphones. I'm feeling bliss. I'm feeling this bliss, and I'm in constant prayer. So I wake up early morning, I go in prayer, and and my conversation with God is no longer God help. God, show me, how am I creating this reality? I install new meta skills into myself now, because if I'm the creator, then I can install new meta skills in myself. I changed beliefs. Let me give you a belief I changed 3 months ago that really changed my life. So since I came to God 1.5 years, I was experiencing extreme poverty, like just fucking broke. was yeah, careful with my words, was. And then like 3 months ago, I'm still so broke, and I'm like, I have about $50 in my account, and I'm like thinking, but why am I running and telling everybody that I have $50 in my account? Like, I'll tell this one, I'll tell, I have $50 in my account. And I never looked at it. I just kept on saying it for 43 years when I what I had in my bank account, and I'm like, and I've just analyzed it, just sat down, like, what's this about? And I understood that there is a program behind it of victimhood. Alyosha, do you want me to buy you a cup of coffee? Yes, please. Would you like me to buy you some food? Yes. So it's this victim, like, yes, please, like, save me. I'm a little piece of shit, and I just need some money. And as soon as I realized that what sat behind it, I saw it. I got overwhelmed because I saw the program clearly behind it. So the first step is to see it. Acknowledge it. I acknowledge that I had this program. I speak from the past now. I had this program. At that time I said I acknowledge that I have this program. I had this program in the present, yeah. I see it. I thank you for our experience. I really thank you. And then I say, Great Spirit, please heal it. I no longer need it. Now, because I created the belief in the Great Spirit and thus created the Great Spirit for me, the Great Spirit now works with me, not as a master and slave, but as a brother and a friend. So I asked this brother and a friend, just heal it. Like, don't want it. I wasn't able to hit that thing with a psychology for 20 years. Behind me, I have piles of notebooks written, was trying to analyze things, and I got nowhere. Here, as soon as I realized it, I acknowledge. I don't run away from it. I asked to heal it. Keegan, you won't believe it. The next day, I have friends from Portugal, not friends, people from Portugal. No, the next day or the day after, and they agreed to pay me $9,000 for a month of my time, building my own design. I haven't had that type of money, I'd say, in like 4 years. So that's how it works. And I had 2 Americans come to City of Dawn and pay $1,300 each to spend 3 weeks with me. So it's like, okay. So now I know that the stuff I'm talking to you about is not just some etherical woo-woo, boo-hoo, witchcraft stuff. This is the real shit. So that's how I work. And yeah, what I wanted to share with you. So if you got any questions, go for it. I know we have YouTube running. 10 people here watching on YouTube. Awesome.
I'm curious how that visit was with with the two Americans at the Abode of Dawn that I was planning to come and be a part of, but it was just such a hassle to get there and expensive.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I'm just answering from YouTube. So I would build in Estonia. The land is in Siberia. It's next to Abakan, 3 hours from Abakan Drive. Abode of Dawn. Abode of Dawn. You can Google Vissarion. So it's a huge community of about 4,000, 5,000 people, 1,500 master craftsmen, and we're landing there. But we're propagating, promoting the creator mode, not the victim mode. So we're gonna do our own thing. Okay. Did you have a question, Keegan?
Well, yeah, I was just curious, like, because I was planning to come and be there together with you guys, but I didn't end up happening, so I was just curious how it went and how.
Oh, it was very chilled. We didn't do any building. It was just two of the mom and a son came, and I wasn't ready. I'm ready now. This is what I'm working on. And when I'm saying I'm ready now, I'm like, yeah, have a look. Can you see it?
Yes.
So I am finally drawing a detailed blueprint of this thing, of this Earthship. So just to remind you how a typical Earthship works, maybe I should just show you a little side view of an Earthship, so you guys can see, just so we have an understanding. What have I done that's so different? And I'll get back to that 3D drawing. Okay, so typical Earthship works like this. It pumps the sun when it's sunny, and the sun hits the floor and the sun hits the back wall. The back wall is 1.5 meters, 5 feet. There is an insulation layer, there's an insulation on top, and it's basically in cold time it starts pushing the warmth back out as soon as the temperature inside the space cools down lower than the temperature of the walls. Okay, so this is all fair and well if you're in sunny Taos, New Mexico. That's what it looks like. And then in summer, they open up this large, what is it, skylight? These giant ones, yeah. And they suck in the cold air from the berm, which cools down because the berm is cool, and this cold air enters and it exits up just the first layer of glazing. They've got this little porthole windows. So what I've done is the following. I've combined the Korean Ondol floor system, which is a set of Hyper Adobe channels. They do it with bricks. I'm going to do it with Hyper Adobe. I'm going to use a nature bee inspired design, which even got a heart. Okay. And that's underneath the room. Yeah. And the other thing I've done is like I have doubled the double layer glazing. So it's a clear plexiglass on the outside, on the inside of this, what is this called? Like a metal structure, yeah? And between them, I've got some black pipes that will send the hot air. They'll get really hot between these two. And I'm sending it into the berm, forcing it through the berm. So the Earthship just hits the wall, and that wall slowly moves the heat back. I'm designing for really extreme weather. So to go back to the 3D drawing, what basically happens is, I've added a sauna there, that half where that human is, that's a sauna, half a super adobe. So first of all, I'm doing tire only for foundations. The rest I'm doing with super adobe, with the main reason that we're going to switch to 3D printing as soon as we, once we get up and going. Okay, I have a 2/4 dome. Okay, let me just explain the tech first. The tech is that once a week we have a sauna, and we get the hot fire like on Dole floor, South Korean floor, through these channels here. One here and one here. So the fire exits these two channels in the center, swirls around this little wall, and exits through that hole, and the second one exits through that hole. Does that make sense? Okay, let me hide the barrel. They exit. So basically we have that whole space heated up. Do you understand? With this plate also being heated up. It's a cement slab, 4 inches, like very hot. Off that cement slab, I'm gonna take a heat exchanger, like a zigzag zigzag pipe, which I'm not gonna explain how, and that's gonna go into these coils, into these yellow coils, and they're gonna take that heat from the sauna, and they're gonna extend it into the like share it into the barrel, forcing it into the barrel. Does that make sense? Okay, then between the two in the greenhouse, yeah, the hot these black pipes, yeah, between the two layers of clear polycarbonate, okay, there's these black pipes. I'm gonna funnel that hot air in these things, in these coils. It's just black pipe, forced together in a spiral. We have them being sold here as, they use them for wells. It's actually a structure for a well in this format, not upside down, but this format. So it's a well. So it's got a lid for a well, and that thing is about 9 feet or 6 feet, and that's being sold off the shelf. But be that as it may, what I'm trying to say, I'm heat exchanging from the fire, and I'm heat exchanging from hot air in between the two layers of greenhouse. What's so different to the typical what they do is, even if we look at the Canadian greenhouse, yeah, the Canadian greenhouse is that's what it looks like, and you guys seen it. There it is. Can you see it? Jeff Lawton did a feature on it. Okay, so what they've done is they have this space, and this pipe, obviously it's very hot on top, very hot, and that pipe just heats by just it being very hot, and it funnels the pumps with a fan air underneath this whole structure, storing that heat underneath. But the problem with that is that you need to get this whole space quite hot in order for it to, you know what I mean? You can't regulate the temperature because, you know what I mean? It just, because you need it to get hot so that pipe gets hot. What I've done is I've created a double layer clear polycarbonate, and I get the heat in here. Does it make sense? So I can control my greenhouse. And by the way, there is glazing there and everything. Let me see, where's the glazing? Windows. There's glazing. Yeah. So I can I can make my greenhouse comfortable temperature, so it's habitable. We can have a cappuccino or green juice and enjoy the space in the greenhouse, which will be full of plants, by the way. I haven't drawn them yet. That whole first half of the thing is going to be pumped with plants that will take the hot water, the water from the bath, the bath, and clean it, and then use it for flushing the toilet, like a typical Earthship. The toilet is also here in this corner. So back to the tech. So another thing I've done is I used vacuum tubes, okay, because they're coming down in price, and I've funneled that into this water tank. Ferrocement water tank is pretty inexpensive to build, and I'm sending that hot water into the, I'm testing out two systems, as you can see, water system and an air system. And all of that is, of course, in the first insulation, the insulation, yeah, isotherm, 4-inch, yeah, can you see? And then there is the waterproofing layer, either EPDM liner, but I'm going for cheap plastic, 3 layers. And of course the burial that goes up on top of all of that. Does it make sense?
It's just insulation, the APDM, and then earth.
Yeah. And earth underneath the insulation, of course. It's all covered with earth as it goes.
Uh-huh.
So as we bury this is all buried with, the insulation will be buried sheet by sheet, and all of this gets buried. The earth gets buried in all of this. So we bury it up slowly, completely. But this is the dry part, and the wet part is past the waterproofing layer. And then what I've done is I extended a part of the roof as a metal roof, and I have my gutter to collect rainwater. And here I'm going to have another water tank, and that harvests my rainwater. Another thing what's different to an Earthship, I've created 2 glasses. I've got a window on the northern side, which a typical Earthship doesn't do. They don't have any windows, and it's not correct according to Vastu. It's correct according to laws of physics, but we are more than just, physical bodies. We're also spiritual bodies. You know what I mean? And according to Vastu, closing up everything from the north is detrimental for your financial and spiritual growth. So my entrances are from east. I have a window from the north. I have another window from the north. Let me hydro break. Let me remove it. I have my furniture there. I'm starting to draw beds. There is a bed. Yeah. I've decided to keep that as a full dome. I'm still gonna do, let me take away the heating. So I've decided to do that as a full dome. It'll be really nice to have a full dome as a bedroom, and another half dome for kids. So I've really taken the time so it's careful. The whole person can stand in there nicely. There is a nice entrance between the two, and it's all very buildable. Because I've built these aircrete domes. These can be made of hempcrete. There's a table. Everything is super thought through. The table is in front of the window, so you can enjoy a good, yeah. I need to bring it down. Anyway, so
A window to the earth.
the windows through the earth, yeah, the windows through the earth, but I'm doing this as a mirror. It's like a capsule that actually does healing. So it's not just a window, it's actually a healing pod that you can lie down inside. Yeah. Yeah, so you can lie down inside and actually be healed inside this window. It's called Zerkala Kozarevo, a mirror of Kozarevo. Kozarevo. You can do some research into that. It's like a powerful. I've never been in one, but I know quite a few people that have been. But basically, it has a nanoparticle. It's like a mirror, and it has a. Let me show it to you. Uh, it has a way to stop all electromagnetic fields from entering. Yeah, here we go. And it's quite a popular theme here in our country. So yes, I understand that the Windows cylinder is big and chunky and too long, that needs to be, and it's going through the berm. But that's what I decided to do in it. So it's a healing device. So maybe it's not even a home. Maybe it's like a thing that you can rent out that people heal, and it's a money-making machine at the end of the day, because people come, they can sauna, they can heal, they can do this and that, and then you're making money and you build yourself something simpler. You know what I mean? But these are these mirrors. So you get in the vibe, yeah? Now you can do research, but people claim quite an incredible experience, because after stopping electromagnetic radiation, you kind of on your own with you and your own soul there. And people claim to have very profound experiences, incredibly. Tested many, many, many years, thousands of cases, tens of thousands of cases. I'm sure you could even find them in America. Anyway, so back to the 3D drawing. So you can see how I wasn't ready for this. You know what I mean? I needed more time to draw this, and that's why I understand that I'm, I understand that everything is perfect. So yeah, I've gone quite nicely. Let's just remove furniture, people, windows. So I'm doing this I'm also in a very good headspace to do this. By the way, one of the onions is the kitchen. Bathroom shower here. As you walk out of the sauna, there'll be a walkway through into this little white, that's a door, showing a door. So between these two walls, there'll be an entrance. So you can go straight out of the sauna into the space. Out of the sauna into the main room, there will not be a way, because the sauna makes a lot of moist air, you understand? And we don't want this moist air in the home area. So the home area with its glazing stays dry, and the home area, and all the hot air enters into the bathroom shower, which is geared for that, it's blasted for that, and the greenhouse, which will have a ton of plants anyway. And from the greenhouse, which is also a passageway, you get into the kitchen, which will be this quarter onion. Yeah? Yeah. So if we remove now the burial and side domes and acrid domes, you see I'm very careful with and a foundation. We're left with the structure, which is a rebar. Let me show it to you. Timber roof. Let's just switch off the walls. Oh no. Yeah, here we go. So it's got a rebar in the beam. Let's look at it. And I've tested this. I'll show you photos of it. So everything I'm drawing is not just like out of my head. I've tested every single feature of this home, except this heating exchange with spirals. So yeah, so this is the beam, and obviously you remember what I built in Siberia. And this is the straps that strap it to the hyper adobe, and the rebar makes it so that it doesn't slide, yeah? And the straps strap it to 4 rows before. And the side domes, these ones, they act as buttresses. Does it make sense? You know the vault roof? Look at my head. Look at my picture. The vault wants to push out, correct? Outwards thrust. the domes are there to counter force the pressure inward. Do you understand? These half domes. So they're centered. They lock this beam from popping out. So that's how I over engineered it. And yeah, so I'm still busy with it. I'm doing about 3-4 hours a day on this drawing. But I'm doing super careful, like to the detail 1/10 of an inch, or one to the millimeter. Everything is millimeter details. Yeah, and this is the Hyper Adobe. Obviously, Hyper Adobe can all be switched to 3D printing because it's the same technology called additive technology. The 3D printing, you remember, is that size, 3.5 centimeters by 1 centimeter. Hyper Adobe is 35 centimeters by 10, exactly 10 times bigger. So yeah, and if to look at the photos of, so people understand that, you know, I'm not just pulling this out of my head. By the way, I have a course in this. You know, if anybody wants to support me, this blueprint is still, you can pre-order it at $157, by the way. Once it's released, it will be $500+. And I have a course in this vault. I build this home. Nobody believes me. I build this home for $1,000 on all the materials, and $1,000 on one guy's salary in 1 month. 8 hours a day. We did it in 2 months, 4 hours a day. So that's the beams. So I have a course on how we build this. If anybody wants, it's 6 lessons. I think we can do it as $100 if people want, as part of today. And all on my website, bioveda.co, bioveda.co. Okay, and then the straps. The straps is this. Here, look at this. So all features of the structural features of this have been tested. Can you see this? There's the straps. There's the straps. The rebar. There it is. And by the way, I've made so many mistakes on this home that I'll be teaching using these videos, but on a correct method, because subsequently I've redrawn the whole arch as a blueprint. By the way, here it is. So this is the second blueprint I'm doing. This is the first one. This Gothic arch. All the mistakes I've done in the real build, I went out and actually constructed a blueprint with all the correct methods that you know, so we don't have the mistakes. So the blueprint is also on my website. Which, yeah, I don't want to promise anything. What's available is what's available. So this blueprint that I'm working on right now, friends, I am going to be ready by the end of autumn. If I carry on about 3-4 hours a day, so it's tremendous amount of time went into, tremendous amount of details, as you've seen, went into. Just even if you look at the roof, obviously the roof is, you know, here's the metal going out roof sheets. Under the metal is beams. They are going out. Underneath that is insulation going out. Underneath is all these timber pieces. Yeah, so as you can see, there's like insane amount of details and layers that's gone into this. Yeah, and I'm still constructing it, obviously using the knowledge that I've attended the course with Mike Reynolds. So I've studied his blueprints. I'm taking Earthship as the main feature. What I'm copying, not copying like his methodology, the way he went, but I just added a few things. The main thing that I've added is that hot composting using Jean Pain. Hot composting, yeah, which I haven't even shown you. So through those channels underneath the room, I'll be pumping in the cold air in summer from underneath the earth, and hot air from the berm that we stored it. Remember, all the stored hot air. We'll be sucking it and sending it underneath the floor in the cold months of the year. So I've added the sauna, I've added the hot compost, and I've added the forcing the hot air through the berm versus just allowing the sun to hit it. The question is why? For the extreme radical weather that's coming up very soon. And if overcast hits, and they already hit in Europe, Keegan, you know, we overcast about 6 months of the year. Yeah? 6 months, it's not towels, guys. Imagine 6-7 months there is no sun. It's just over cloud. That's it. That model of an Earthship is not going to work. So it's all fair and well, but the weather is changing. So it's really designed for the unpredictable, not from fear, but just understanding what's happening. And we're like, you know, we're seeing a little bit ahead, like 10 years ahead. Unpredictable weather events, all good, because we have so much. I've extended the wall thickness from 5 feet of a typical Earthship to 9 feet before insulation. That means we have a much bigger storage capacity of or warmth, yeah. So that's what I've done, and of course it's all designed on sacred geometry and Vastu. So that's another thing I've done. And made the windows in the northern side, which Earthship doesn't have. Earthship is just buried from east, west, and north, and it's not right. It's not right energetically. From east, the most sacred energy comes in. You gotta have an entrance from the east. It's like it's a rule of Feng Shui and Vastu. It's a spiritual rule. You can't bury yourself from east, west, and north completely, with no openings, no windows, no doors. From laws of physics, it'll do you good, but we're not just laws of physics. We're spiritual beings, and spiritual laws apply on us. Let's see if there's any questions in.
I was curious because you started mentioning about the vacuum tubes, and I wasn't really understanding about how those work.
Oh, they're so simple. They're so simple. What they are, Keegan. Let me vacuum glass tubes. They've been around in Israel already for like, I don't know, 30 years. It's solar water heating. Yeah. So my experience with these glass tubes was that you pull one of these out, you put water inside, you stand on the sun, and the water is boiling inside, boiling. Keegan, boiling water inside, just bubbles come boiling. It's got a special like coating, and the water is just boiling. So, and you can, it looks expensive, but it's so cheap now. You can get them secondhand, just the glass tubes, and you basically mount this whole, you mount them up in your greenhouse. The reason I've done is because from hail also. Remember, they're hidden in my polycarbonate, yeah? From hail, because if hail, also unpredictable storm events, all fine, the next thing is egg-sized hails, those glass tubes are shattered. Do you understand? So that's why they're hidden there, and they get me hot water in a big water tank. 4,000-gallon water tank, 3,000-gallon water tank, ferrocement, one mesh, only one mesh, and the cylinder, and it's just plastered. Very simple. I've done it before. Yeah. Stand. Let me show him. Tank. But you guys seen it in my videos. It's like a capsule. It's like a cylinder. Anyway, I don't want to look for it now. But yeah, this Earthship design that I'm designing has gone a long way. This is a previous model of the pipes. So when I say that I've invested 10,000 hours into this design, just the thinking behind it, I really mean it. Yeah, it's basically it's biomimicry, Keegan. It's biomimicry, friends. It's just copying nature. Like we have artery system, they're separate. We have the lymphic drainage system, they're not mixed with blood vessels, correct? What else we have? We have nervous system, that's not mixed with veins, that's a separate thing. So it's just that. It's just copying nature in its purest form and really thinking about how home should be. So a home is a temple. So friends, I ask of your support so I can continue designing. You can see now you can really see that I'm on it. You can see that the design will be ready in soon, because you can see how much already details I've put in. I'm actively working on it 3-4 hours a day. So it's a matter of a month or two, it will be ready as a blueprint, a professional set of blueprints, probably 10 or 15 pages, A1 in size, giant A1 size, with all the details, all the anchorage connections, screws, like high detail blueprint. And I need your support. So $157 for now, until probably for another month. When it gets to really almost finished, I'll up it to about 300, and then it'll be 500. And it's not, I'm not trying to do a marketing trick. It's just, it's like a shitload of time has gone into it, and it's my signature design. And to get to that design, I've gone through so many designs. I mean, I can just show you, like, roughly, like I mean, Keegan, you've seen over the years what I've gone through, but for those of you that haven't, here's some of my other designs that were predecessors to this little blueprint. This one we've got in a 3D course. By the way, I teach how to draw this in my 3D course. Also a really cool training. If anybody wants to learn how to draw in 3D, join me in this course, biovera.co/3D. There's another design. Those are those heat exchangers that I was explaining to you about, that you get off the shelf. Yeah. All with plants, friends. Of course, there's going to have bananas, pawpaw, and all of that. There is the one who's a geodesic. So I take the geometry and I bend my polycarbonate bend the greenhouse according to the, can you see it's exactly on half hexagon, full hexagon, half hexagon, full hexagon. So I work with geometry too. So there's quite a variety of designs. They're using a Russian onion, and polycarbonate now gets bent to that, and that's kind of what I stuck with my current design. But I removed the full onion because it's just going to be, I tried to simplify it. Acrete blocks or hempcrete blocks for the ends, so it's a similar theme. It's just, so these are all the previous designs, and we'll get there. But right now, this is what I have. I have a blueprint coming up, and I need your support so you can, financially, I can continue drawing and not, just like be supported. So I'm being honest with you. So I'll put a chat in the chat. I'll put, gosh.
Did I hear you're coming to the States in November?
No, Portugal. We're building this in Portugal. We're building a first unit in Portugal, and probably in March. Yeah.
Ah, I just applied to work at Portugal at this place called the Traditional Dream Factory.
Wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah.
Where are you going to build it in Portugal?
I have no idea. I have no idea what it's called. The place yet. Thank you. I'm just reading. Yeah, so I'm gonna put my link here for this blueprint. You can get it at pre-ordered at 157, and my website buyveda.co, and you can find all the other courses there. Yeah. Okay, so we might meet in Portugal. That's awesome. Do you have any questions? Anyone?
Super epic.
If you got any questions, just shout.
I gotta hop off because my mom's calling me, but it's super
Okay.
awesome.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Keegan. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Boom. We're one.
Blessings.
All the best. I'll see you in Portugal.
Will you make the recording available of this?
Yeah, will do.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank
Okay. Be well.
you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.